Hi, I'm Laura Stewart, board member of Indian River Impact 100, and we are here today with Jake Lucas, who's going to be talking to us about the grant that ORCA received for the Save the Water Babies project. Jake, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Now, how were you involved with the Save the Water Babies? How did it impact you?
Well, I got involved through my teacher, who was the leader of that project.
What school were you in?
Indian River Charter High School, IRCHS, and I went to Miss Moreau, who was my marine science teacher at the time, and asked her if I can be involved with that project because she announced it towards the end of that year, towards the end of my sophomore year.
Okay.
And so I went to her and I was like, I would really love to be a part of this project. I think it'd be really cool to get some insight into our local area more. And she put me on the list of kids who were also interested, and I was one of the ones who made the cut. And then we went into marine science too, and it was great. Like that's what it was. I mean, like technically called marine science too, but it was the Save the Water Babies project.
So what was involved? What did you get to do with this project?
Well, we worked one-on-one with ORCA down in Fort Pierce. They're based down in Fort Pierce. And
Edie Witter.
yes, Dr. Edie Witter. And we got to work one-on-one with her. We would go out into the field, which like we would go into the lagoon, and we would take samples, bring them back, test them in the lab, and do that. It was cool.
Did that change your whole idea of what was right in your backyard?
Yeah, it was definitely it was different because, you know, in marine science we looked through a book and that was cool, and we watched documentaries and stuff like that, but getting to be involved not only hands-on but in our own community, it really opened my eyes to what was going on in our own backyard. And it was like if I hadn't taken that class, I wouldn't have the information I have now about our lagoon. So it's interesting.
You mean in relation to what we're seeing now with the algae problem, or something else?
Yeah, definitely. Like with the algae problem, and I mean we were starting to towards the end of the project, we were seeing improvement in the lagoon, and now that I don't know what's happened in the past couple years, but it's definitely it's sad really, because we were starting to see improvement. There was starting to become more awareness of what was going on in the lagoon, and now we have this huge algae problem, which will hopefully be taken care of eventually.
Now, you're a journalism major in college right now.
Yes.
Going to Indian River State College and going on to someplace else after that. As a journalism major, how does what you learned by doing the Save the Water Babies take you forward into your future?
Well, you know, I feel like having a background in science definitely helps with writing in general, and maybe, hold on, can I restart that? Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I feel like having this background with the class that I took, and this project, and sorry, hold on.
It's okay. It's just you and I talking, so don't worry about it.
Take your time. We can re-edit all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
you know, one of the things that you really expressed to me when we were talking in advance was how this awareness of something that you realized was living and breathing and was impacted by what you do on a daily basis, how that affected the choices you're making in the future.
Yeah, I mean that's in essence what I've been trying to say. Like it having the knowledge of that with that project, it's helped me understand what is going on, not just at that small scale, but more than likely at a world scale too. So having that background, and then also, you know, with the classes I take for my journalism major and everything, like it's weird that it all kind of comes hand in hand, but like, and you don't see it at first
Right.
when you're a kid in high school, but like everything that we do all kind of connects with each other, and one choice here can affect something else completely, and it's cool. It's good to have that knowledge for our community, and to understand what's going on. Not just like, oh, how did this happen? Like, you can kind of, like with the algae bloom, it shocked me, but it didn't surprise me, because I saw what was going on, and I understood that, there was, if something didn't change, it was gonna get worse. And there was noticeable improvement by the end of the year when we first started,
Right.
but it was definitely, eye-opening, I guess.
So it sounds like being involved with that project when you were in high school, even today, is showing you cause and effect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being involved, just being in, that was 4 years ago when we did that project, but even now, like, it still has made an impact.
In other areas of
Yeah,
your life as well?
Exactly, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just a simple thing, like going out and bringing the curriculum into the schools and out into the environment.
Definitely.
It still has you thinking
Yeah,
differently and
definitely.
questioning.
Yeah, almost always. I mean, I'll do events because I work at a radio station, so I do events with them. And when I do those events, like, we'll sometimes be by the lagoon, and I'll look out and I'm like, wow, I've done research out there. That's really cool, and it definitely, it's stuck with me, because before, I obviously like cared about the environment, but I didn't realize like how important the Indian River Lagoon itself was, almost, because like I moved here like 9 years ago, so I knew of the lagoon, but like I didn't really know about the lagoon until I got to high school, and so I didn't realize how important it was to the ecosystem here for a while.
It was just there. It was just.
It was just there. Like, it was there. I knew what it was, and I was like, oh, okay. But then, like, taking marine science, I started to understand more about it, and then from there, when we did Save the Water Babies, I knew more than I probably ever would have known if I didn't take that class or take that project. Yeah, or do,
I do. and hopefully everybody else listening to it, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
You got your passion across, and I think that's what's really important, especially about a project like Save the Water Babies, where it's impacting kids in high school.
Yeah.
Kids in school who are still formulating responses to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a great example of how transformation happens and keeps going.
Yeah.
Even when you're back out there into the bigger world now.
Right. I didn't continue science, but, I know kids that were in that project, who were a part of that project, they did go on with science and stuff, and I would think that that class had a huge impact on them through that as well,
Was it because it made it real?
Yeah, it just made it more, because when you're in class, like, it's not, like, when you're in a class, it's reading a book, or, like, the teacher will do their best to make it, more interactive and stuff, but this was like as interactive as you can get, literally going out into the lagoon, taking samples, bringing them back to the lab, working with those samples. It was so interesting and so cool, and getting to work hands-on with the ORCA team and Dr. Witter, they were fantastic, they were encouraging, they were always so like calm, like someone messed up, me. They were nice and didn't make you feel bad, and it was really cool. It was just so great getting to work with them, having a fantastic teacher like Miss Moreau as well, helping us through that whole process, but also helping, like, they helped us and they like guided us, but they didn't just hold our hands. It was like being on a tricycle, or not a tricycle, a bicycle with the training wheel still on, and they would kind of push you, and then eventually wheels came off, and we were, you know, leading talks about it, and we would have people come into the class, and we were able to explain it to them perfectly, and it was really cool because at the beginning of the year, if you would have told us that we were going to do stuff like that, we wouldn't, you know, been able to.
Kind of took you outside your comfort zone.
Right, yeah, definitely, but it took us out of the comfort zone, but made us even more comfortable with what we were doing towards the end, so it was great.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
really appreciate your coming in and telling everybody
Of
how,
course.
you know, your life's been changed because of it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, I really appreciate being here, and I'm glad I can talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.